everybody. Yes, sir. YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on my Boom Players of the Week for Week 13. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content, guys. So, yes, sir. Let me see who's first in the building. We got Aaron Holloway first in the building. Appreciate you being here, bruh. Let me answer your question since you're the first one in the building. I'm going to get to that immediately. He says Devontae Smith or Olave. I'm going with Devontae Smith over Olave. I got to go with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith over Olave. To me, Olave is a PPR guy. I haven't seen any big plays between him and Shoke. I think Shoke is a good young quarterback, but I'm trying to give you the most upside at this point in time of the season. So I think Devontae Smith gives you the most upside over Olave, but Olave is definitely safe. He might be the safest wide receiver in the game for his fantasy football. He might be the safest wide receiver in the game. Also, moderators, if you can, make sure you try to post some of the links, especially to become a member. If you want to become a member of the channel, guys, this is how you get perks. This is how you get your questions answered a little bit faster than other people. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, and get started with the Boom Players for Week 13. And actually, guys, let me do a little bit of reflection from yesterday's game. This seems very disingenuous for me not to talk about yesterday's game. So the first player that I want to talk about is going to be Lamar Jackson. That is probably the worst game that I ever saw Lamar play. I've never turned the game off watching Lamar, even when he's had a few bad games, for whatever reason. That was disgusting. It was like, we just going to turn the ball over to turn the ball over. Listen, you're not even giving the ball to Derrick Henry. Give the ball to Derrick Henry and you still score 3 touchdowns. If you just give the ball to Derrick Henry 30 times, y'all score 3 touchdowns. If you keep trying to pass the ball and make big plays, knowing that you're getting sacked, you holding on to the ball, that is disgusting. And I hate to be disingenuous to Lamar is great. Michael Jordan had bad games. But that was just a bad game. So, guys, if you played him, I apologize. You didn't make the wrong play. This is the guy that we drafted. This is a Jamar Chase that you drafted. This is a Saquon Barkley. This is a guy that you can't sit. You have to play. Now, if you want to sit him, hey, who am I to tell you not to sit a guy like Lamar, right? But if you want to sit him, you just got to be ready for him to boom any week. He was on his way to a boom, and then it just got sloppy. So congratulations to the Bengals. All right, let's talk about a couple other players that I talked about for a start for the Thanksgiving slate. Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had a good game, but he just didn't get the touchdowns. It was a David Montgomery type game. They needed tough running. They needed more broken tackles between the line of scrimmage, and that's what it was. So Jahmyr Gibbs, you start him, and I believe the same thing with Lamar. Even though it doesn't feel great, you have to go and start Lamar next week. If you have a backup that's really good, that's trending, that can get you a safe floor between 15 and 20 points, then you might want, if you wanted to pivot from Lamar because of that, that's fine. But go down with the ship. Don't wait till Lamar goes off for 30 points. Not saying he's going to do that, but he goes off for 30 points, now you're mad. That's the type of conundrum that you get in when you play fantasy football and you studs that don't perform for multiple weeks for a quadrant. You have to make a decision that I'm going to keep playing them or I'm going to pivot off of them, and I don't care what they do in the future. Moving on to George Pickens. George Pickens, I'm not saying I want to say he's the number one, man, but I think it's more 1A, 1B. I still think CeeDee Lamb is the 1A, but George Pickens is not the number 2. He's the 1B. He's unguardable one-on-one. He runs really good slants, and he's quicker than what you think. He's 6'3", 6'4", but he's quick. He's like in and out of his breaks. He can get that head around, pause, and he can, he's like a smaller guy, 6-foot guy. He runs routes like a 6-foot guy, especially that slant. They couldn't stop the slant all day and it was the Chiefs. So George Pickens, he killed it. That was my start of the week. Next was Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, this is probably his last season, so he's going to get hyper-targeted in the green zone. Right, he's going to get a lot of targets in the green zone, so he's going to be fine. Chiefs are probably going to still make a late wild card push to win the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of upsets going for the rest of the year for real football, as far as who's going to make the playoffs. So don't think your team is out of it just because they won or they lost. And flex play was JMO. And this is what I've been telling y'all. And hopefully I want y'all to see the science to what I'm saying. Don't go off just the players. If you want to do a hit rate for 70%, yes, you can use that. Whenever I say start them or set them, you can use the hit rate. But I want you to, when I play guys like JMO, and when I talk about guys like JMO, I want you to understand why I'm picking a guy like JMO. I'm not trying to pick a guy like JMO just so you can subscribe to my channel and say TD talk about different players. I picked JMO because I know what he could do. You see why he went off yesterday. Now, Amaraz's out of the game. That's sad. I'm not cheering for anything like that. But JMO can do this. But you got to be willing to have the audacity to keep starting these guys. And that's why I try to psych y'all out. And I coach y'all up like I'm a coach. I actually come to y'all like a coach does his team. Like Bill Belichick coaches his team up. I'm not trying to get you, well, we're going to draw up some special play and you're going to be wide open. Bill Belichick is trying to teach you, oh, this play may not work, but if I keep hacking at this tree, eventually the tree will fall. If you keep going down with what you know that JMO is a good player. You know that Dan Campbell's calling plays. You need to have the audacity to keep playing this guy so you can get the boom. And that's what I want Fantasy Good Sports subscribers to do. We don't care that JMO gave us a 0. We playing them again. I want y'all to be able to go on other channels and calm the chat down. I said what I said. Say, hey, guys, this is just part of fantasy. We're not worried about that. Where everybody else, oh, my God. And my season is over. And it's okay, man. He probably going to be the number 1 wide receiver next week. He ain't going to be the number 1 wide receiver. Because and they ain't doing this. And Amaraz's going to boom out. Things change every week. Calm down. And play your studs and dance with the girl that you came to the party with, and watch out for the girls that's going behind the dumpster. And everybody that subscribed to my channel understand what I mean when I say that. That's a metaphor for anybody that's new. So what I'm saying, you're going to run into defenses that's going to be behind the dumpster. And guess what? It could be the number 1 defense and they can have a bad outing, but you sit your stud and you don't get those points. And now you are second guessing yourself for the rest of the season. Don't do that. So let's get started for the boom of the week. Appreciate everybody being here. Let's hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. You're not going to see this type of content anywhere else. You're not going to see a guy vlogging and talking about starts of the week and boom plays of the week. Most people are going to be in a studio, which is fine. It's awesome. And they're going to be giving you. So this is cutting edge content. This is different taste for fantasy football. All right, so my first quarterback boom play of the week. Let me go down, make sure everybody can hear me. Okay. I see you, MVM, in the building. I see you, Master Edit. I see you, Father of 3. Yes, sir. I see you, Jay Moore. Okay. So y'all can put it in the chat if you want to guess it. But my quarterback boom of the week is going to be Shadir Sanders. Yeah, I went there. That's cutting edge content. I get it. A lot of people it can be distasteful to a lot of people. Sorry about that. It could be distasteful to a lot of people, but Shadir Sanders, let me break it down for you. The 49ers. Thank you, Allo. I appreciate you subbing. So, yes, Shadir Sanders. Yes, Aaron Holloway. Shadir Sanders is going to be the boom play of the week because he's playing against the 49ers. The 49ers is a really good run defense. Winters, a couple backup linebackers, because Fred Warner got hurt. They in the game. They playing really well against the run, but they are struggling against the pass. They are giving it up behind the dumpster when it comes to the passing game. Right? They are struggling when it comes to the passing game. So Shadir Sanders should be killing it, passing it to Jerry Jeudy, Fannin and Njoku, Tillman. Those guys, I think they're going to eat this week because that's how you beat the 49ers. They have nobody. They don't get no pressure on the quarterback. Since Nick Bosa's been out, they are in last place when it comes to sacks. They have to blitz and do things that Robert Saleh do not like to do in order to get pressure. If you can't pressure Shadir Sanders, I think everybody knows that If you can pressure him, you can get him to make mistakes. You can get him off his square. But if you can't pressure him, you in for a long game. I don't care if it's NFL or if it's AFL or whatever. He's going to have a good game. And listen, anything can happen, but I'm willing to go down with my ship and tell y'all to play Shedeur Sanders as my boom of the week, which makes me accountable for that. So I'm giving y'all the sauce. I think Shedeur Sanders is a top 12 quarterback this week. That's the reason why I got him on the boom of the week. I'm not telling you to sit Drake May to play him, but what I'm telling you, if you got him and you don't have anybody else and you trying to make a decision, go ahead and run Shedeur out there. That's why I'm giving you the confirmation if you're thinking about playing him and you kind of have to play him to do it. All right, let's move on to my running back of the week, boom of the week. It's going to be Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty. And I told y'all this yesterday. The reason why Ashton Jeanty is going to be my boom of the week, even though he's playing the Chargers, which is a solid defense, is because Chip Kelly got fired. And then let me tell you this. Let's do some math. Let's do some algorithm. Let's do some common denominator talk. If you fire your offensive coordinator and you have the best running back, which is a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, and you have another top 5 pick at the tight end position in the draft, even though he might not win top 5, this is a top 5 player. Like these are 2 big time players, and they not getting targets or they're not getting carries, and you fire the offensive coordinator, you know what's going to happen the next week. The next guy's calling plays is going to get Jeanty 25 touches, 10 targets for Brock Bowers. I guarantee you that Brock Bowers don't have anything less than 7 targets. And this is a tight end. I guarantee you that he doesn't have anything past a 7 targets. So I'm not Jeanty, but I expect Brock Bowers to have 10 targets, and I expect Jeanty to have 25 touches. So Jeanty getting 25 touches and that offensive line trying to prove something, running the ball, I think they could put up a nice little outing. So I like Ashton Jeanty to be a boom play of the week with the touches that he's going to get because the Chip Kelly's being fired. Okay, let's move on to my wide receiver boom of the week. It's going to be Stephon Diggs from the New England Patriots playing against the Giants. Now listen, this New England Patriot team is one of the best teams in the NFL. They're a top 5 team. Stephon Diggs came off a bad knee injury, and it took him a little bit to get going, but the last 3 to 4 weeks it's not been consistent. But when he's going, you seeing him cook, and nobody is stopping him. I figure with the Giants' secondary being weak, giving it up, their defensive coordinator got fired, Stephon Diggs can isolate some of these young players and eat them up, right? Pause. He's going to I think he could have a good game. He could have a 2-touchdown game. Drake May is playing elite. Why not Stephon Diggs? So I like Stephon Diggs to be my boom play of the week for week 13. All right, moving on to my tight end boom play of the week. It's going to be Earl Fanning Jr. for the Cleveland Browns. And just in the same fact that I said Shedeur was going to boom, Earl Fanning, the guy that's getting the alpha targets is Earl Fanning. He's the guy that's getting the line of scrimmage targets like a Debo. He's the Debo for that team. Earl Fanning is Debo for that team. He plays the game just like Debo does. He's not like running over anybody, but it looks like the way Debo is being used around the line of scrimmage with Earl Fanning running ability, playing the Wildcat, his route running, everything. I think he's going to get at least 6 or 7 catches, and he's probably going to put up at least 60 or 70 yards, which is going to make him a top 5 tight end, and he could even be even better. So I love Earl Fanning going against the 49ers who don't have any pass rush, and they're not stopping anybody in the passing game. Moving on to my flex play of the week, no pun intended for this guy, is Saquon Barkley. The reason why guys getting late in the season and they coming off a run, what is the next step for the Eagles in order to get that team going so they can make another Super Bowl run? They got to get Saquon Barkley going. Now, you might say, well, they want to save him. Well, how they going to save him? They're not even using him. Now, they don't want to get him hurt, but they have to but they have to establish the line of scrimmage. So Saquon, they don't need you to have 200. They just need to be able to run the ball when they need to let Saquon, keep the defense honest. And that's why I love Saquon Barkley. And I know a lot of you are worried. So in 8-team leagues and 10-team leagues, I can see people sitting Saquon. I'm telling you, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Not because I know what's going to happen in the future, but this is Saquon Barkley. And that tells you everything as long as he's healthy. That's Saquon Barkley going against the Bears. The Bears defense has been playing pretty good. They're getting people more healthier throughout the season, and that defense is getting some Pro Bowlers back. But I still like Saquon Barkley because the Eagles is not about A.J. Brown. That's why I think A.J. Brown understands that, but he also just wants to be respected and needs to feel like he's contributing to the team. But it's not about getting the ball to A.J. that's going to win this team the championships. It's not about getting the ball to Devontae Smith. It's about letting teams know that we are physical up at the line of scrimmage, and you got to stop Saquon. And that's when Jalen Hurts can distribute the ball. That's when he can show you why he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a multi-all-pro quarterback. All right, and last, my DST boom of the week. My DST boom of the week is going to be the Jazz going against the Titans, and you know why I'm picking a team against the Titans. The Titans is out there in the streets giving it up behind the dumpster, and it's a long line. So if you ever see any decent defense playing against the Titans, you play them. Cam Ward is turning the ball over. Even though he had a decent outing last week, I still think the Jazz can get a couple turnovers, some sacks, and have a good outing. All right, let's get to some of these questions in the chat, guys. So let me answer this troll and see what he does after this. He says, "How long have you been wearing drawstring ponytails?" So, I've been doing it probably for about 3 or 4 months here. But see, when you are a man of like me and you have a sharp jawline, and you still, even though you got gray hair, I don't care what anybody says, man. It's basically, and I want to explain, but this is how my lady hair do it. She's like, TD, if I put it all the way back, your hair is going to frizz up in 2 days. If I sit it on top, it keeps everything together and it doesn't frizz up as soon. So it's better than me sitting 4 hours to get my hair done. Sometimes I just want to get out of there. Secondly, bro, I don't give it. I pull multiple ladies. You know what I'm saying? I pull multiple women, bro. So it doesn't matter, man. I'm just sitting here chilling, trying to do fantasy football content. And you as a dude, I think it makes you uncomfortable the way I do my hair. Won't you listen to the content and pull what you can pull from the content? So I appreciate you being here, bro. But here on Fantasy Good Sports, I hold everybody accountable. So I'm not going to let you just troll and keep putting that in my comment section. Because it could be a legitimate question. But anyway, let's get on to the fantasy football content. Appreciate you being here, man. Let's see. Aaron says, also, good day to you, TD. Yes, sir. Good day to you too, bro. Stone Gates, come on, man. Talking about the Cowboys still suck. Come on now. What I tell y'all about them Cowboys? What did I tell y'all? Don't be hating on the Cowboys or Cowgirls or whatever you want to say. MVM says, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tet, or Michael Wilson. Please pick one. Okay, so I'm assuming that Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing, so we're not doing Michael Wilson if we got Marvin Harrison Jr. in the same conversation. So it's going to be Marvin Harrison and Tet. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Tet. Father 3 says, Zay Flowers on notice. No, he's not on notice. Zay Flowers is balling out of his mind. Lamar Jackson is on notice. Zay Flowers is still him. Lamar Jackson is on notice, in my opinion. I watched the whole first 3 quarters, and I saw Zay still being Zay. Now, a couple touchdowns did get called back. The Likely and the Flowers one, if that hits, it's a different game. It's a different game. MVM says Judkins, Rico, or Hampton. Please pick one. We're gonna go with Rico over Judkins and Hampton. I'm going with Rico over Judkins and Hampton. Aaron Holloway says Sanders. Yes, that was the right guess. All right. Let me see. Let me go back to some of the other guys that's not. Jay Moore says Benson has been ruled out. Thoughts? I wouldn't play any running backs. I'm not playing no Zonovan Knight, and I'm not playing Michael Carter. So I'm just playing Marvin Harrison Jr. And if I need to, Marvin Harrison Jr. If I need to, I'm playing Michael Wilson as a wide receiver 3. And Trey McBride is, he's a start every single week. That's easy. Me says donated $40. Appreciate it, bro. What'd you donate it to? Appreciate you. Coastal Texan says Higgins against Indy this week. Nah, I'm not doing Jaden Higgins. There's too many mouths to feed. I wouldn't pick Higgins and play him this week. Daniel Jones got a fractured fibula that Houston D about to inflict pain. Yeah, the Houston D is like that. I'm not telling anybody to sit Jonathan Taylor, but I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a top 5 running back this week. He could. It don't take number 1 play with him, but I believe that Houston is the best defense in the NFL, in fantasy and in the NFL. Master Edit says, what's good, bro? What's good? He said, Alo said, what's your biggest fear? That I'm not going to be successful. When I go down, I can't even sleep because I know I'm going to be successful, but sometimes, I'm a human. I think, what if I'm not successful? I can't think of it. And I'm not trying to say I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm not saying that I'm going to have multi-million, but if I can't hit $1 million and it be in my account freely where I don't have to touch the million, then that's, to me, I'm not going to be successful. So I got to be successful. That's my sports mentality. That's how I got to where I'm at today. That's why I'm willing to wear what you would call a ponytail on top of my head, because I don't give a damn. I am relentlessly seeking success. Relentlessly. He said, let me see. Jay Moore says Drake May. I like Drake May. I wanted to make a quarterback starter of the week as a boom play, but that's too easy. Everybody know to play Drake May against the Giants. So sometimes I like to go down not too much because this is a boom play. This is not a sleeper play of the week. It's a boom play. But I like to go down a little bit. Guys that I feel like can boom and maybe you don't see it coming, I try to pick more towards that way than to go to the obvious Jamar Chases and a Justin Jefferson and that tier. So that's what you're saying about Drake May. But Drake May is going to have a great outing this week. Alo says, I appreciate you, bro. Ryan says, good afternoon. Standard league question. Start Ibuka, Pierce, Keenan Allen, or Addison. I know Baker's dealing with a injury. Must win for me. Okay, Pierce, he's playing against Houston. That doesn't mean he can't score, but that's a tough matchup. Keenan Allen, I like Keenan Allen going against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a lot of mouths to feed, but he's a solid start because of who he is in the matchup. Addison, no, we don't know what the quarterback position going to be like there. No Addison. Nobody from Minnesota you can play right now other than Justin Jefferson. So it's going to be between Ibuka and Keenan Allen. To me, I might go with Ibuka with Baker Mayfield playing over Keenan Allen. Even though Keenan Allen has a good matchup and there's a lot of mouths to feed, but I probably would go with Ibuka with his pedigree, even though Godwin is still playing this week. So I'm gonna say Ibuka slightly over Keenan Allen. You have to make that choice. If you wanted to go with Keenan Allen over Ibuka, that's fine. He said, I know Baker's dealing with an injury, must-win game for me. Yes. So you might have to just start Ibuka, even though Baker's playing, Ibuka should be okay, as long as Baker's not getting sacked a lot. E. Simo says, you got that from your lady? No, I didn't. I got it from my hairdresser. She put it up there. And I'm pretty sure she didn't put it up there because I acting weird. Can I say that? I'm pretty sure she put it up there. Sometimes if you're a good looking man, women are just see they know that they figure you bold. So when she did it, I looked at it, I'm like, oh, a little cringy, but I'm like, all right. And then I went outside and the lady's like, ooh, I like your hairstyle. I know you confident in a man. I love a man with a man bun. So that's what it is, bro. And that's why I'm addressing it, because ain't no shame in my game. I don't think you trolling either. Three strikes says, is it time for me to drop anyone? QJ, J-Mo, Pearsall, Troy Franklin, Woody Marks. Strikes, why would you put J-Mo on there? Come on, bro. Well, is no reason why you would drop J-Mo after what he did and Amara got hurt? No, you wouldn't do that. You know you're not gonna drop. That's a little bit of a troll right there. J-Mo is not a drop. But I don't think you should drop any of those guys. You know how I am when it comes to dropping players. I don't drop anyone. Listen, guys, let me tell you something about me. I have a friend right now. He's older than me. He's probably like 15 years older than me. And he always said, I try to save everybody. I try to be nice. But listen, and I told him, even though I'm a good looking man and I played football and I was one of the best running backs in the state, I still went through a lot as a young man where people neglected me and rejected me. Women, I was an ugly duckling. I had facial hair when I was like in the 5th grade a little bit, and women didn't like it because young women like baby face guys. But I think a lot of blessings comes in situations where you are doubting someone. If you go back and look at most of the successful people, like Master P, especially music artists, nobody liked what they was doing. People thought Michael Jackson was weird. So I'm not going to ever, one day when I get ready to pass and go on and transcend to my next level, to wherever I'm going in life, once I close my eyes forever in this world, you're gonna be able to put on my tombstone that I never treated nobody different. I treated everybody the same, and I let you make your own bed depending on what your talent was. So that's why I do the same thing in fantasy. I don't drop guys because I understand that a guy hasn't did shit all year can come in and help me win a championship. I'm learning a little bit when it comes to my women. I gotta have a little bit more of standards. And I'm not talking about standards as far as looks. I'm talking about picking your brain. Because sometimes people can come in and they can manipulate you if they know you that way. But yes, man, going back to the real point, I don't want to get too far off topic. Don't drop players, man. If you can save them, if you can put them on the bench, you never know what might happen, bro. 2 wide receivers could go down on the same team, and then that third team guy is the starter. So to me, I like to keep my chambers full of bullets in case I have to go and start shooting. But that's a great statement. No, don't drop any of those guys. Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Okay, this is going to be a good comment. I can't wait to meet. He said, love how you break down the quadrants. You told us, come on now, Ryan. You making me, I'm getting excited. Pause. But I'm getting excited because of what you're saying. Like, this is we all learning, right? He says, you told us a while ago to be patient with Diggs. And while back, and now it's going to pay off. Cutting edge content. Yes, sir. And J-Mo, you can replace that with J-Mo. You can replace that. You can replace it with a couple of guys. Cooks, Jahmyr Gibbs. It's a lot of players that have struggled early in the season that nobody wanted, and things changed. Chase Brown. Darius says, "What's good, bro? How was your turkey day? It was pretty good, man. I ate good. I was over there at the family house, at my sister's house where we all came and ate, man. And my sister, she went off. We had turkey, ham, stuffing. I don't really like stuffing. I'm not a bread person, but that stuffing was seasoned very well. It had a little bit of sausage in it. It was really good. I want to try real cranberry sauce. I don't like that fake cranberry sauce that come out of cans. I want some real cranberry sauce. I've never had real cranberry sauce. What else do we have? We had peach cobbler, sweet potato pie. Man, I had a good Thanksgiving. Waste Tube says Keenan Allen or Troy Franklin. Bruh, that's a tomato. But let's get edgy. Man, I'm gonna go with Troy Franklin against the Washington Commanders over Keenan Allen. You can't go wrong either way. But in this quadrant, like I said, I'm not gonna do a lot of tomatoes anymore because we have data to collect to make a decisive decision. Decision. Excuse me, guys. That's something else I overcame in life. I'm not scared, I have secrets. I don't tell everything that's going on, but guys, I was in speech class, and I struggled early because my mom was great, but she didn't read to me. So the only thing that I was digesting was superhero cartoons, and I could see everything in that. I could see how life was working. That's why I work. I see metaphors. Like when I look at life, it's like the Matrix. That's why I use comparisons. Relationships, fantasy football, dance with the girl that you came to the party with. That's how I see things. So, yeah, bruh. Keenan Allen is a good play with the matchup, but Troy Franklin has been getting 10 targets, even though he might not boom every single time when he get 10 targets. But if you go back and look at his target log, you can see, man, he getting a lot of targets each game when Bo Nix is passing the ball. So I'm going to go with Troy Franklin over Keenan Allen. Eduardo, what's up? He says, oh, no, those haters hating on your hair, TD. I know, but listen, bruh. This is how I overcome it. Hey, I'm address it. Let them talk. They just asking a question, man. Would they ask the question to my face? Probably not. Would they think it? Yeah. So I'm going to give them, I'm not going to block them. I'm going to let them ask the question, and I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them why a man of my stature is not worried. I'm full of confidence. And that's what's wrong right now with a lot of people. You are so scared. People around you are keeping you from going to get your goal in life. You want to be comfortable. Oh, don't think that I'm weak. Don't think that I'm ugly. You so scared somebody going to say something about you that you are scared to go and take a leap of faith. That's what the Bible teaches. Listen, I'm not telling nobody what to be in religion. But one thing you got to do as a man, life is fearful. It's a lot of stuff out here you can be fearful. You got to be fearful for your life. People can hit you in a car and kill you, anything like that. But you have to go and step out on faith, bro. So that's what I don't care if they say it. I want to, it's a teaching moment to let people be in here more comfortable. I used to get mad and hey, get him out of here. After went through the situation I'm going through with my son, none of that stuff matters to me anymore. But I appreciate it, bro. You're right. He said it's their own insecurity. It is. He said they want to have your style, but come on now. You said, I tried to say that earlier. You saying it better. They want to have your style, but their insecurity doesn't allow them to express themselves. They are just testing your confidence. I agree. So you think I should never say? You think I shouldn't address it, bro? Tell me. I'm open-minded because you preaching right now. You don't think I should address it in the chat? Let me know. This is cutting edge content, guys. I bet you came over here for fantasy and you getting a little bit of everything. This is different. That's why I call this cutting edge content. Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, Big Will? He said J-Mo boom. Yes. And listen, it's not that I knew he was going to boom. It's about dancing with the girl that you came to the party with. This is a 30-point, 40-point guy that you got to start him almost every week. You got to have certain spots on your team. In an original league where you starting 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, I'm going to have 2 boom spots open on my lineup. That could be my quarterback or my tight end. You got to have 2 guys in there that can go for 30 point, 40 point, 40 point, 50 point. You got to have 2 guys in your lineup that can do that. If you just get everybody that's who's going to get safe targets, 6 or 7 targets from 5 points and 10 points, you're going to get your ass whooped by a guy like me. Oh, he's playing J-Mo. I got this. J-Mo went a 0 last week. I got this. And then now J-Mo goes off on your ass. Now you worried. You don't know what to do. You can't understand. You have no logic. Darius T81 says the Dunze or Troy Franklin. Let's go with a Dunze. He's a little bit to me, he's on a better pedigree, a better tier. I'm sorry, not pedigree, a better tier than Troy Franklin. So I'm gonna go with a Dunze slightly over Troy Franklin. Big Will says Watson boom too, but I had him on the bench. And that's all good, bro. You can't get everybody in your lineup. You can't be with every girl. You can't get all the money. All you can do is what's in front of you and what you need to do for yourself. That's all you can do, bro. Good job. Tron says, if Olave misses, should I play Jalen Warren, Gainwell, Debo, or McLaurin? I'm playing Debo if Olave misses. Tron says Jackson Dart or Bo Nix. Listen, so I'm gonna give you the logic. That doesn't mean you have to follow what I'm saying, but my logic would be to play Bo Nix because I want to see how Jackson Dart plays with a new offensive coordinator. They said they wasn't gonna let him run around like they've been doing. And I know I had a person, I don't know if it was Utron or MVM, it was somebody that said, well, TD, you know Jackson Dart is him. You've been on him, but I can't agree with you on this one. I said, bro, and I respect that. You're right, but let me tell you something. If you think that the Maras are going to let Jackson Dart run around and get hurt and boom himself and break himself up before next year, you're going to be amazed. They're not going to do that. So it could look like a whole different game style. If it's not, I will apologize and I get back to hacking the tree next week and saying Jackson Dart is him. But I need to see it first. You know how we always talk, let me see it first. I need to see that. Turn the lights on. Let me see it. And that's what I need to see Jackson Dart after his hiatus with the new offensive coordinator. Ann Holloway says Devontae or Olave. Olave got back spasms. I'm going with Devontae. I think he got more upside than Olave. Big Will says Coach said that Baker Mayfield had a good practice and is trending to play. Start Ibuka or go with Ladd. I would go with Ladd over Ibuka. That's just me. I would go with Ladd over Ibuka because of Godwin. Aaron Holloway says Dart or Baker. I'm going to go with Baker. It will be easily Dart, but I need to see how his game is going to be without the Brian Daboll. Jay Moore says, I never see Ibuka going down with the ship for the rest of the season, and I love that. That's why I have nothing to say. I told you guys, what could I call myself as a fantasy football player? I'm very esoteric when it comes to my play. I don't want you to do what I tell you to do. I want you to have logic in whatever you are doing. It don't have to be my logic. I think I have good logic, but it could be your own logic. And Jay Moore just told me his logic. He likes Ibuka. He's been watching Ibuka play. He feels good to his soul to play Ibuka. Soul, what are you talking about? That means you need to get out of here. You have no clue. We above you. You need to go play on the playground with somebody else. We're not doing it here. But if it feels good to your soul, bro, you go down with your ship. That's all I'm trying to get y'all to do. I don't want y'all to, and you know what? We don't complain. Ain't none of y'all complain. I know some of you had Lamar Jackson. Some of you had Jahmyr Gibbs, and ain't no complaining. Why? Because that's one thing y'all have gotten from me. We ain't complaining, TD. We know how it is. Jahmyr might have a bad game. It's going to be okay. That's what I like. That's why I like what Jay Moore just said. He ain't sitting Ibuka. I respect that. Terror Rex sent a high five. Appreciate that, Terror. I don't know who that is. Is that a new female that subscribed? But I appreciate that, Terror. Jay Moore start your studs no matter what, and that's another good logic. I do most of the time, but I will get cute sometimes, especially if I'm winning. I'm 8-1, 9-1. Shit, I get cute sometimes, and have did and lost because of it. But it didn't bother me because I knew what I was doing. Durf Boys, what's good, bro? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I did. I'm starting CMC, B. John, and A. Chain in my RB and flex spots. Who should I start at wide receiver? A.J. Brown or Ibuka? I'm going with A.J. Brown over Ibuka. I already played Pickens. Great job. Great job. Zara says, bro, go sit down. Bro, I can't. I'm trying to go get a bag. And if you was trying to get the same type of bag, which you already might have a huge bag, you wouldn't tell another man to sit down because you would be already trying to get a bag, and you would see, hey, it's multi reasons and levels to go get bags. So to come over here and troll and say, go sit down, shows me a lot about your character. But I appreciate you being here. And I'm just joking with you, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is a different style, man. This is a different style. Jay Moore says, how was your Thanksgiving? It was good, bro. Family was around, and I'm big on family. Like I said, I don't like the holidays because it seems like the holidays is more important than the people. People only like to say Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas, but what do they do on August the 6th? You don't hear nothing from them. What do they do on March the 13th? Nothing. So the same way that I'm going to tell y'all I'm gonna say happy Thanksgiving. I'm not doing. I'm gonna ask everybody all the time, much as I can, unless I got something going on. How you doing? You good? What's up, bruh? Where you think bruh come from? That is a term. That's a term of endearment, bruh. So yeah, man. Thanksgiving was great, man. I ate a lot. Jay Morse, would you drop Spears for Sampson? Maybe, depending on what I think Quinshawn going to do. If I thought Sampson was going to get a nice snap percentage, no, yeah. If I thought that Judkins was going to get a nice snap percentage and Sampson wasn't going to come in the game, no. But if I think Sampson could have a role or something can happen to Quinshawn, if that's what your breakdown is, there's nothing wrong with dropping Spears. He hasn't been doing anything. I don't think Cam Ward can have really any type of really good fantasy players on his team the way he's playing right now. He said, "That's what's up, bro. Glad you had a good one." Yes, sir. Lucius said, "Good to see you, man. Who should I start? Half point PPR, Jawan Johnson or Goddard?" I'm going with Jawan Johnson over Goddard. Playing from behind, I would still go with Jawan Johnson. I still will go with Jawan Johnson. Ed Tate says, "What's going on, TD?" Had Dak, Pickens, and Jamar Chase yesterday. Happy holidays, big homie. Yes, sir. And way to play Dak. A lot of people were scared to play Dak, but you played Dak. He's playing against a really good Kansas City Chiefs, and It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nino says, "My girl got the same hairstyle. That's crazy." Yeah, bro, Brandon, I'm not offended by you saying that. It is what it is, man. I told you when she put it up, I could have said, "Don't put my hair like that." But listen, I'm getting better every day of my life. I don't give a damn. I'm not saying I never cared what people say. I never really cared what people said, but I didn't want people to say certain things. And coming in the chat and saying that lets me know that I'm a good-looking man. Because if I was ugly and fat and had one eyeball missing, people would kind of be nervous to say stuff. So when a person called you out, sometimes you got to look at it from the foundation. According to what my homie said earlier. TZ says facts. Jay Morse ended up dropping Henderson, but was able to snag him back before his breakout. Okay, I was about to say, bro, if you drop Jay Moore, if you would have dropped Henderson this week, bro, I would have trolled you. Every time I'd have been like, "Look, man, I love you, but I'm about to troll you." This is the cat that dropped Travion Henderson because he had 13, 14 points last week. That's what I would have did, bro. But I get it. You talking about before the breakout. Gotcha. Sports Doctor TD 100. J-Mo did just fine for me this week. My 18 PPR super flex, Tootin or Marks. I would go with Marks over Tootin. Who's going to be a go-to guy in week 13? I would probably go with Marks. Starter Kid Duke, what's up, bruh? Jay Morse's thoughts on Joe Burrow last night. It's Joe Burrow. I mean, I can go and break it down. He got great pocket awareness, his anticipation. We know what his skill set and why he elite. But this is what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna have to call one of my homeboys because he's gonna be mad. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Lamar. He's not a better talent. Lamar is gonna probably get in the Hall of Fame and go down as a better, bigger football player than Joe Burrow will. But as far as just quarterbacking, Joe Burrow is better. And let me tell you the reason. It's not anything that you would think. It's because Lamar has to learn the it factor gene, like what to do to win games. Okay, let me give it an example real quick for myself. Let me give it an example for myself. I'm sorry, guys. I got a lot going on, so I'm trying to see. But if I'm a running back and my team is winning by, let's say, 10 points and we're going into the fourth quarter, I'm going to protect the ball with two hands. Carry a football like this. I'm not going to be doing none of that because we got the game. I'm not trying to get extra fancy. You have to know what you need to do in order to win the game. And that's what Phil Jackson taught Michael Jordan. He was like, "Michael, we up by 10 points going into the fourth quarter. Why are you taking all the shots? We need to just win the game. So just win. What we need to do to win. What would you do right now just to win the game? Oh, y'all did okay then. So give it to Steve Kerr, give it to John Paxson. We good. You don't gotta show the world that you're doing. So Lamar, you don't gotta show the world that you're the most explosive quarterback to ever play the game. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. Get the ball out quick. Play like Shadur. Just get the, you know what I'm saying? Just do the little small things. And that's what Lamar is missing. Joe Burrow, yes, he do like the deep ball to Jamar, but he's not gonna overdo it to try to show people how great he is. And I think Lamar is trying to show people that he can pass, I can pass, I can pass. I'm a black quarterback and I can pass and I can pass, I can pass. Bruh, run the ball, give it to Derrick Henry. Let's get out of there with the wins. You can't prove everybody wrong all the time because it would mess up your life. And I have to learn that. Me trying to prove people wrong all the time, I have done things that the people that really like me started looking at me different. I lost probably, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I lost a wife. I lost it was this girl, man. She was infatuated by me. And she was beautiful. And one day, somebody disrespected me, right? This dude said some crazy shit, and we was in the middle of the classroom. And I turned around and I told him, I said, man, shut the hell up. Everybody got quiet, right? And the girl said, Terry, let it go. And I remember this like yesterday. It's like she had never seen me angry. And I didn't let it go. And I kept like, yeah, say something again, I smack you. And that girl never like talked to me again. She, hey, how you doing, Terry? But she didn't have the same. And I learned then, you trying to prove everything to somebody, you can rub people the wrong way that you're not trying to. And that's the same thing that Lamar and that guy has to learn, that Joe Burrow will learn. Joe Burrow give it to Chase Brown if he got to. He'll hyper-target Jamar Chase. He'll hyper-target T. Higgins. So he'll do whatever it takes to win the game. That's why he got the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl 3 or 4 years ago. All right, let's get into this. Sorry, man. I know the super chat. From Senor Raw, he said, I don't know if I'm blocked, but my comments have been missed last couple lives with Benson out, fired. What's going on, bro? I don't know what's going on. You're not blocked? Let me see. Nope. Bro, I'm gonna make you a moderator right now. I don't know, because you're not blocked. I see the channel activity. So I'm gonna make you a moderator. I just made you a moderator. That way your comments is not getting blocked. I don't know what's going on, bro. But with Benson out, fire up Burden or DK. Let's go with DK. He's just a little bit more safer than Burden. Let's go with DK. Appreciate that super chat, bro. Appreciate the super chat. Let's see. Ice Cold Jones says, hope you good, bro. Sutton, Shakir, or Vidal in the flex. So if Hampton is playing, then we can't play Vidal. But if Hampton is out, I would play Vidal over Shakir and Sutton. So let's just assume that Hampton is playing. I would go with Shakir over Sutton. Revon, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not killing your name, bro. Appreciate you being. He said the Jedi Master. He said that's right, TD. You be you. Wise man's listen. Foolish man speaks. Yes, sir. Jay Moore says, do you think the Panthers beat the Rams? No. But I do think the Panthers is going to be solid going forward, but I don't think they beat the Rams. Father 3 says, I said Zay on notice because likely looks like he's trending up. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I thought Zay was on notice because you thought he was just playing bad, but I get it because I can see how you would think he's playing bad. But I get what you're saying now. I get it now, Father 3. My bad, bro. Jay Moore says, my opponent had St. Brown and Kareem Hunt starting. I had Chase Brown from last night. Yeah, and I'm not going to cheer for St. Brown because I love St. Brown as a player. But, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, what you going to do, J-Mo? And J-Mo came through. Ernesto says, flex Devontae Adams, Judkins, or Sutton. I'm going to go with Judkins is more safe than Devontae Smith and Sutton, but he don't have upside this game. I think the Rams are going to sell out to stop Judkins. But you know what, man? I'm going to still say Judkins over a wide receiver because Judkins is going to get 20 touches. So if you want to go for the guy who got the best matchup, who could have more points, I think Devontae Smith could end up having more points than Judkins or Sutton. But Judkins is going to get more points, and if he end up, that could be a correlation for him to have the most points also. But it doesn't always mean that, especially at the running back position, or especially when you're playing against a Robert Saleh team. So when you're playing against a Robert Saleh team, usually I would try to go to another wide receiver that's got more upside, but Judkins going to get those 20 touches. So we could say Judkins slightly over Devontae Smith, or you can go with Devontae Smith, who can have a 60-yard bomb touchdown to him, maybe two of them. Jay Moore says, any updates on the Hampton and MHJ? Is they playing this week? I think MHJ is playing, but I don't know about Hampton yet. Yeah, I don't know about Hampton yet. Dunksky says, you think Baker or Joe for the rest of the season? I'm going with Joe Burrow for the rest of the season. SoCal in the building. Bro, you robbed me from Daniel Jones. Now, that was a good trade, man. You gave me the first. That's all I wanted from him, and you gave me Tootin. That's what I wanted, man. Good job, man. Way to win. He beat me last week. I gave him the quarterback, which probably ended up being the reason why he beat me. But it's okay. You got to do that in fantasy, in Dynasty sometimes, to make sure you get your draft picks. And keep building on to your team. But what's up, SoCal? He says, what up, Stroud or Darnold this week? I'm going with Stroud over Darnold. But you know Darnold got a good matchup, but you know what Darnold can do. So I like Stroud. I know he's been out for about 2 weeks, but I'm still going to go with Stroud going against the Colts. TZ says, thoughts on what's going on with Lamar? Yeah, and I talked about that early, man. He's just trying to prove to people that he's doing too much. He just needs to do whatever it takes to do to win the game. Duncan says, I guess the real question I'm asking is Bakers or Ibuka or Joe and T. I would go with Joe and T over Baker and Ibuka, especially now for this win. Shaq Graham said, what's up? Don't want nothing hit, supporting and saying what's good. Hit the like button. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shaq. Eduardo says, okay, I like this. He said, you are too real, TD. The haters don't understand. They blinded by their fears, okay? You are teaching them, so I support you addressing them, okay? Keep being real. We need you. Sending up many blessings. Thank you, Eduardo. Yeah, I'm going to probably leave it alone. I'm probably just going to ignore it. See, guys, I'm not above reproach. And I like, man, I appreciate that. Not because you said, respectable things about me, but you get me. And that's what it is. You said, TD, you too real, and I am. But most people say, man, you care what people. No, I do not. I'm just real and authentic. But it takes another one to know one. Eduardo, you a real one because you takes one to know one. You just say, TD, quit addressing them. You actually broke it down in the reason, and so you kind of just went with it. But you know what? I'm not gonna respond to that. I'm not gonna waste time. Guys like you and other people in the chat is what I need to keep my attention on. And these other people, I'm just going to let them catch up. I'm not going to teach them. There's too much teaching. Appreciate that, bruh. M.A. Mr. Anderson in the building. He said, what's good, bruh? Sutton, Ibuka, or Mechie? We're going with Ibuka over Mechie and Sutton. We're going with Ibuka over Mechie and Sutton. Ryan says, appreciate you being here during the holiday season. Hope you and RG do another live before the season ends. You two vibe well together. Thank you, bruh. I appreciate it, Ryan. Somebody else told me that too. Terroret Shop says, all love, bruh. New subscriber here to support and join the tribe. Okay, love the cutting edge content, cutting edge quadrant, exhorted content. Keep on rocking, bruh. Thank you, Tara. Okay, I got you. He says, oh my God, Flex. You good, bruh. I got it, what you were saying. Jay Moore says, any key stashes ahead of week 14? Man, let me think. Let me go look at the schedule real quick. Sometimes I can get it off just looking at the schedule. Let me see here. Okay. This damn computer goes all the way back up to week 1. Okay, here we go right here. Any stashes? Let me see. Isaac Tesler. Isaac Tesla with Amara going down. Pick up Isaac Tesla, and it was another guy out there. I thought he was playing tight end, but he's not. He was getting a few targets, but Isaac Tesla, Malik Davis from the Cowboys, the backup running back, that broke that long run. Isaiah Likely. I know that sounds crazy, man, but Isaiah Likely. Let's see. Let me go through some more. Greg Dortch, just to see, because I think he could be the slot, no matter if Marvin Harrison or Michael Wilson is playing. I like him as a slot guy. Tootin, just because of his role and what can happen to Travis Etienne. Chris Rodriguez, if you haven't picked him up yet. Chris Rodriguez. Darren Waller. Okay, that's it. That's all the sleepers I got, man. That's all the sleepers I got. Or stashes. Father 3 says, I absolutely agree. Lamar is giving me T-Law vibes right now. Yes, he's looking too much for the big. Come on now. Come on now, preach. He's looking too much for the big play instead of keeping the same plan simple. Preach, Father 3. When it counts the most, can you deliver? That's what it's about, Lamar. So we don't need you to keep throwing for 4 or 5 touchdowns. We need you to let Derrick Henry eat, and then if the game is close, then you go do what you do. Hennessy Black, I heard somebody say that. He says the FBI needs to investigate the Ravens. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's just Lamar needs to quit trying to do too much. Blade Runner, he says one of my league mates dropped Javonte Williams Tuesday. I put in the first claim of the season on him. Then he boomed. Dude probably crying. Great content, bro. Keep it up. Right. Oh, J-Mo Williams. Okay, J-Mo. Yeah. That's what. But see, you here at Fantasy Good Sports, you're not dropping them because we don't do that, man. That's why, man. I really, guys, it really gives me energy, man, and I get really proud of y'all when I see that. Asking him to. Okay, yeah. When I see that y'all are understanding the philosophies of what we do here for fantasy, not just agree with TV. What player? You actually understand why we are doing that. You understand why we keep playing J-Mo even though he gives me a 0. That's what makes me the most proud, guys. And hey, we're going to keep doing this here. We're going to become a great tribe when it comes to fantasy football, doing cutting edge things. Hennessy Black says, I just wrote to Cash Patel a letter asking him to investigate the Ravens. Hennessy Black says, what you may lose in a wife, you will gain in peace. Come on now. Come on. Senor Rahar says, okay, thanks, TD, anytime. Hennessy Black says, Zay Flowers already put me in a hole. Luckily, King Henry and Chase Brown did enough. I know, man. I feel this out because I need them. I might miss out on a couple $100 leads because of Lamar, what he did yesterday. He says, play DK over Higgins at Colts or Jennings at the Browns. I would play DK over Jaden Higgins. Jennings is fine. I can see Jennings getting a touchdown, but that Browns defense is coming to play. So, man, I don't want to be disingenuous. Just because I think the Browns is going to have a good outing doesn't mean that Jennings is not going to do anything. The Browns can have a good outing, and Jennings can go for 70 yards with 6 catches and a touchdown. So I'm going to say it's between Jennings and DK, and I probably would play Jennings over DK, to be honest. I would probably play Jennings over DK, even though DK because DK is all about special teams. It's too much stuff in there for him to hit his ceiling. I think Jennings can get his because they just want to target him. So I would go with Jennings slightly over DK. Hennessy Black says, how many times will Cleveland sack Purdy? I would say 4. I say 4. One by the sack leader, and the other one's by different guys. B Silver says, is there any concern with Barkley's groin injury and hold the handcuff there? Yes, hold the handcuff there. Because they might sit Barkley the championship game for fantasy football. Intelligente, what's up, bruh? He says Lamar had 0 TDs, 1 interception, and 2 lost fumbles against the Bengals. Yeah, man. It's fantasy football and it's football. That's what happens. Aries says way too real, and I take that, man. I go to that's my ship, right? That's my ship. I rather, you can't be perfect in life. So if I'm gonna go down, if I'm gonna have a flaw as a man with testosterone, remember, man, you got to think about this in life. Back in the day, you had to fight for your tribe. It was always wars. Like, another tribe might come over here and try to take our wives and kids. I had to go out there and fight. So I might die, but men wasn't scared to die. They went down with their ship. And that's what I'm doing, man. I go down. I'm a good person, and I'm going to go down like that. And I'm also not going to tolerate bullshit. Does that make me a perfect person? No, it does not. But it makes me real. It makes people like, hey, yeah, TD, come on over here. You can trust me. I ain't going to disrespect your wife. I ain't going to steal your money. I ain't going to disrespect you. I ain't going to say nothing weird. I'm just going to be like, well, if you say something to him, man, and you trying to get disrespectful, y'all going to be ready to fight or something. I take that instead of taking, yeah, man, TD, anybody say anything to him, they spit on him, he won't say nothing. BD says, hey, chill out. Where you from? I'm from Burlington, North Carolina. Actually, I'm actually from Saxon Hall, North Carolina. It's a little small town, less than probably 500 people, maybe less than that. Hennessy says, Lamar out there looking like J.J. McCarthy. Big facts. Super Nice says, can you pray for my Commanders? Yes, sir, I will. Yes, I will. Jassy for Hoop says, should I start Caleb Williams or Jacoby Brissett before today's game? I would start Jacoby Brissett. The Eagles defense is like that. If you need upside and you got to win, and you got to win to get in, you got to start Caleb. But if you're just trying to be safe to keep going what you already done built on, I would go with Jacoby. He said, I've always loved your stuff, man. Keep it up. I really appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day. Yes, sir. Appreciate the gift, Ari. Appreciate the gift. He says, I got a question, bruh. Okay, go ahead. I'm looking for it. Tom Kennedy, that's his name, can have a decent role with the sun god out. That's the guy I was talking about. I would try to get both if I could, but if I had to pick, I probably would go with Tesla because he has that in the red zone role and he's a tough guy. They just need to coach him up as a rookie. Kennedy seems like he's just more seasoned and he just knows what to do more than Isaac Tesla. So I get it. Tom Kennedy is the other guy. Tom Kennedy and Isaac Tesla are two guys that you have to just see what's going to happen with this role and watch J-Mo ball out too. So I hope a lot of you who stay with J-Mo, I hope God rewards you. God, what they say? What's that Vikings? Because I love the show Vikings. The gods reward the bold, and that's the truth. The God, I go out here and I wear this hairstyle. A woman, what if Holly Berry walk up to me? I want y'all to have that same energy, right? So God rewards the bold. Let's see. My partner says Blake Corum or Keaton Mitchell. I probably would go with Blake Corum, knowing that he got a nice backup role. That if something happens to Kyron Williams, you got a league winner. Let's see. Photron says Bengals defense that has allowed the second most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks this season. It should have been a great spot for Lamar. But listen, everything because of data doesn't mean anything. Mike Tyson got whooped by Buster Douglas. So stuff does happen. It happens. That's why you don't let 1 week get you off. You don't let one mistake get you off your square. You have to just stay with the plan, and everything usually works itself out. Brian Robinson Jr. Yes, I like Brian Robinson Jr. He needs to be stashed if you can stash him. Voltron said, at this point, it makes sense to have a solid alternative in place in case Lamar continues to struggle. Right, Voltron. And that's why I have Shadir Sanders, and that's why a lot of you should have Shadir Sanders. My partner says Brian Robinson, Blake Corum, or Keaton Mitchell. I would go with Brian Robinson over probably Blake Corum and Keaton Mitchell, because if anything happens to CMC has never been hurt this time of the season. He's always played. He usually get hurt early in the season when it's like a bad injury. So I'm gonna go with that, and I just want Brian Robinson with the role that he could have over than to have Blake Corum or Keaton Mitchell stash. Eric says DK or Swift. I would probably go with DK because it seems like Managa is taking over the backfield for the fourth quadrant. Jay Moore says, wish the Falcons could feed Bijan like CMC. Big facts. Blake one is too many men have never been punched in the face. That's another one. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. Because when you get punched in the face, like I played football. I played against big dudes. I've talked to dudes that can probably even when I was in my prime. And that's like my sophomore year, my junior year, I was a monster. I'm squatting like 460 pounds. I'm benching not that much. Most people thought I can bench 300, but I would probably bench like 225, 230 and I was big. I had big shoulders, and I still got those shoulders. But the threat of another man being violent with you would teach you how to have respect and teach you that if you're going to fight for something, it's got to be for a real reason. So I agree with that, Blade Runner. Keep preaching. Ed Tate says, Tanks Bigsby or Basher Tootin, which one would you stash? That's tough. I probably would go with Tootin slightly over Tank. Eric says, I got you, bro, anytime. Yoram? Sorry if I kill it. He says, hey, bro, I'm watching from Turkey. Yes, sir. Appreciate you being here. B. Silver says, start one tight end. Got it. Kincaid, Waller, if he plays. Hey, that's crazy. Somebody else in here know what I'm talking about. That same question was asked to me earlier. That's crazy. But I'm gonna go with Waller because Devontae Smith is playing. I'm gonna go with Waller because Devontae Smith is playing. Yeah, if Devontae Smith wasn't playing, I would go with Goddard. We're not playing no Kincaid when he's already coming off an injury. Mr. Anderson says Neal or Debo in the flex. We're going with Debo in the flex for the upside. You can watch what Neal can do. Now, if you already win, shit, get cute and put Neal in there and see what happens. But if you got to win, I'm going down with Debo. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you go into a fight, are you gonna take Mike Tyson with you, or you gonna take, hey, I got a guy I'm gonna recommend to you. This guy, you ain't never seen him fight. You taking Mike Tyson because this is you could die in this fight. So same thing. If this is you got to get in the playoffs and you playing for your fantasy football playoffs, you got to go down with Debo. Thank you, Air. He signed up for the Pro Bowl crew. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. King Sirius. Okay, yeah, King Sirius says, I don't think Lamar looking for the big play. Jackson doesn't look 100%. That's true. That's true. He is a bit more attentive in his decision-making and not throwing with usual touch and accuracy. I see that. I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it is a lot that he's trying to make big plays. He's trying to overcompensate, even if it's for an injury. King Sirius says, you may be able to stream 5 defenses against them. You may be able to stream defenses against them. The team totaled 5 turnovers in the game yesterday. Yes, big facts. All right, guys, let me get up. I gotta go get my lineup today. So I gotta get up out of here. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all been a saving grace this year. I appreciate y'all. Keep coming and coming and coming, no matter what's going on. I learned a lot about hardware and a lot of things that's like can go wrong. Hey, sometimes you just got to walk the distance to actually understand what you're going through. So when we doing YouTube, guys, a lot of stuff can happen. I understand what the Wi-Fi means and they got to add this and why the live might stop. It's a lot of stuff that goes into this trying new things. So I appreciate y'all having patience is what I'm trying to say. Appreciate y'all having patience. Yes, you know what, senor? That's why I'm trying to get to the crib. He says, time for those Thanksgiving leftovers. Yes, sir, Ed Tay. Peace.